Hello YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Vanessa. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the new e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. I've heard amazing things about this primer. I've heard it being comparable to the Milk Cosmetics Hydro Grip Primer, and I love that primer. This isn't my first time using this. I've used it twice already, so I do kind of have an opinion already. I do feel like it really does resemble the Milk Hydro Grip a lot. So I'm just going to read you guys some of the info on the Ulta Cosmetics website about this primer. So this is supposed to be a hydrating watermelon infused primer that uses unique jelly textures to give you lasting sheer blur, dewy skin and a healthy glow. It has a unique gel texture that works like glue to grip makeup to ensure it stays put. And some of the key ingredients are watermelon extract, niacinamide, I ain't no scientist, vitamin A, C, and E, and hyaluronic acid. So they also include some beauty tips on how to use this properly. So you're supposed to apply this evenly to the face prior to makeup application. Once applied, wait 30 seconds before applying makeup. And when applying this, they do suggest that you use clean fingers to pat product into the skin. The warmth of your fingers will help the product melt into the skin for an even application. I used this with two different foundations. One was a little more matte and I feel like it looked really nice, but I wasn't like super impressed. Then I tried it with a luminous foundation and my skin looked amazing. I looked flawless, completely airbrushed. I don't know if like you guys have noticed or not, this is not a big deal, but I have like a fine line in the middle of my forehead, and the only other primer that I've ever been able to blur that line out is the Milk Hydro Grip, and now this one. That's usually not like a deal breaker if a primer doesn't cover that one fine line. I don't really care, but when it does, that's how I know it's like, yo, this is a good primer. So this one definitely blurred that line out, so it definitely has that in comparison with the Hydro Grip. I also did notice that the second time I used it, I don't know if I probably didn't blend it out properly, like how they said you're supposed to pat it in. Oh, this does dry pretty quickly. This does dry pretty quickly, by the way. I probably didn't pat it in well enough because my foundation did look weird in certain areas. So we're gonna see. I'm actually really glad that I've already used this twice, because I can kind of see like what kind of mistakes I made and correct those to get the best wear with this primer, which by the way, I would not suggest you use this with a really matte foundation like with the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Foundation. No, this is way too tacky. Like your foundation is going to be in shambles. You're not going to be able to blend it out properly. So I am going to be using it in combination with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. I'm using the shade 355N if anybody's curious. So the reason that I want to use this is because the second time that I tried this primer out, it was with this foundation. That's the time that I had the problem with the foundation looking weird in certain areas. It wasn't like my whole face. It was like my foundation looked weird like around here, because my guess is I just didn't blend out the primer properly. So definitely take your time, work in sections. Don't try to get it all at once because this does dry quickly, as I mentioned before. And yeah, aside from those areas that looked a little weird, these two actually look really nice together. And I would have never thought to use this foundation with this primer unless my friend Raquel had recommended it. Like her skin's been looking so amazing, so I was like, girl, I'm trying to get some of that skin. So we here now. I am thinking of doing a wear test. We shall see. The only reason why I feel like a wear test with these two products and my skin will be kind of tricky is because I have combination skin. I have a pretty oily T-zone. Add a luminous foundation to that. I'm bound to get oily much more quickly than I would with matte foundation. And then on top of a luminous foundation, add a dewy primer to that, and you know, we're talking oils here. But that's not something that really matters to me. As long as my skin will look good, I'll blot. If my skin will look good, I'll blot. So if I do a wear test for today, it will be a short one. Also, for the sake of this video, I will usually when I use like dewy, more luminous foundations, I tend to set my primer with translucent powder. But for the sake of this review, I will not do that today. And I feel like I've been talking quite a lot, and y'all are probably like, girl, shut the hell up and put the damn primer on. I'm about to do it. All right, so I'm gonna start off with 2 pumps of this. This smells amazing. It smells like watermelon, but it's not too overpowering. So if you're sensitive to smells like I am, you should be fine. It does look a little runny, but she's gonna start drying out soon. I would definitely say this is a lot more glue-like and sticky than the Hydro Grip. You see, my memory does not work. I immediately forgot they mentioned patting it in. I feel like I'm smacking myself. Alright, so 2 pumps took this side of my face, my mouth area, and this bottom part of the left side of my face. I do want to say you should actually start with this by pumping 1 pump out first instead of 2 together, because you're going to be rushing yourself because you have to work much faster so that the leftover product on your hand does not dry out. So I completely forgot to mention that I actually have a review of the Milk Hydrant Primer up on my channel. I'll link that down below. So I've applied it all over my face. I definitely look very radiant and dewy. I do have to say I do prefer the fact that the Milk Hydro Grip takes a lot longer to dry down, so you're not working as rushed. So I've definitely let that dry down for a little longer than 30 seconds. So I'm gonna go in with my foundation. Alright, so I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong. Like, there's this area right here where the foundation is lifting and my sponge is not too wet. I know the issue isn't the foundation, it's definitely the primer. I feel like I spread it out pretty evenly and correctly, so I don't know why that's happening. That's the same thing that happened to me the last time that I used this primer. But other than that, the areas around that area look amazing. Like, my skin just, look at that glow. Look at that dewiness. The skin looks so healthy. It's just that area right there where I'm having that issue. Alright, so on this side I'm having the same issue around here. That looks absolutely terrible. The last time I had this issue, like, my face looked fine after I set it, but this is not ideal. And again, I don't want to think that it's that the foundation and the primer aren't compatible, because I've obviously seen them together and they look amazing. So maybe the issue is the way I'm applying it somehow. But I don't really know what I'm doing wrong because I followed the instructions. Well, we're going to be learning together. Hopefully, when I post this, you guys can help me out if you guys have tried this and give me some tips. Okay, so on my forehead, it's perfection. The issue is the sides of my face. Why? I don't know yet. Alright, so this is what we're looking like after the foundation's been applied. I did have an issue with the foundation sticking to my nose, so that's pretty sheer coverage right now because the foundation just won't stick. Like, my nose is usually a problematic area, but I can usually get some foundation on there. I can usually get like a medium coverage, but this is pretty light. And it's like the more you blend it, the more it lifts. I'm assuming because of how sticky the primer is. So yeah, you guys probably can't tell, but right here, something's going on. And then here as well, like where the contour goes, I'm sure you guys can see that. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not even gonna attempt to fix it. So from here down, absolutely terrible. Actually, no, I shouldn't say absolutely terrible. My chin looks fine. My chin and my forehead look fine. The sides of my face do not look fine, and my nose, the foundation won't stick. I'm just gonna move on to concealer. I'm using Tarte Shape Tape in the shade medium. It just sucks because before the separation or whatever started happening on my face, the foundation looked gorgeous. And honestly, even my concealer is blending out really nicely. You guys, you know what else it could be? Maybe this primer works best when you apply your foundation with a brush, because I am starting to get better coverage on my nose with this brush. And I'm just using this brush to get into like the little areas that like the sponge might not get to. Alright, y'all, I'm back. I set my face off camera. You see, this is why I be getting mad, because my face looks absolutely flawless. Super freaking blurred. Like, my skin looks perfect. Like, it even looks fine on my nose. The only problem areas are, again, here and here. But then the rest of my face just looks like I look airbrushed. I look photoshopped. I look filtered. I look amazing. So there's definitely something wrong here regarding either application or tools, which pisses me off. I feel like I made up my mind with my opinions on this primer, but I'm gonna finish the rest of my face off camera and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I'm back. So this is the finished makeup look. I'm gonna share with you all my final thoughts because I'm not gonna do the wear test. To be honest, my skin looks amazing. I was able to work around the complications that we were having on the cheeks. I honestly feel like you can't tell that I feel like if you look at me right now, you cannot tell what was happening before everything came together. However, I did not like the application. It was not normal. Would I say that this is a bad primer? Absolutely not. It's just a learning curve. I have to figure out the best foundation for it and the best method of application for it. I don't know if I have to apply my foundation with a brush or, you know, try a different foundation with a sponge. I don't know. We'll see. However, I would definitely say this is pretty affordable. You should definitely give it a try. Make sure that you're using it properly and it will work properly. I don't know how or why, but by the grace of God, it worked perfectly fine on my forehead. And I mean, from the get-go, it worked perfectly fine on my forehead, and it looked absolutely stunning and flawless and airbrushed. Then the rest of my face came together. And it does look really nice, except for those parts that I already told you guys a million times that looked a mess. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep testing this out and I'll keep you guys updated. If you guys like this video, or if you guys have any questions, or if you guys have used this primer and you guys have any tips or anything that might help, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, make sure you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your post notifications, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time.